Soul Records presents After the Show, the best show in town, the best show on earth. You better not miss none of these shows. If you do, you don't know what you're missing. Today I got somebody really special on my show, somebody that you don't want to miss this conversation, you don't want to miss this interview. I got Carl Pep Brown.
Hey,
What's going on,
what's
Carl?
going on, Mr. Johnson?
You know, it's a pleasure to have you on here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you're a man among men. You're one of the greatest of the greatest. Now I got Soul Records, which was formerly one of Motown's labels. I've been recording a lot of new artists, but a lot of people don't know. I mean, you were a great record producer yourself, an executive producer for the famous Gamble and Huff team, which is the greatest writing duo on the planet.
Oh, it was a great experience.
They got like 3,000 hit records. I don't know anybody that got 3,000 records, period, hits.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, what was it like really being with Philadelphia International Records with Gamble and Huff team?
Oh, it was one of the greatest experiences in the world because I got a chance to, I call it my school of hard knocks. So I got a chance to really sit under some guys that inspired me and motivated me to actually teach the next generation because their generation, what they did in their generation, gave our generation inspiration to inspire the next generation. So it continues the legacy from what they have done. And what they've done is something that we'll never forget. And we use that legacy to carry us on. And it's legendary. And it lives in me, lives in you, lives in my nephews who are, right now I'm proud of, what they're doing with, young Leon Huff Jr. at HDE. And it's still moving. They planted that seed that's still growing in the the generation of mine and the next generation after this. So it's continuous progression. You know what I mean?
Well,
because of their legacy that they left for us.
Well, I know one famous thing Kenny Gamble always said, there's always a message in the music.
Mm-hmm.
I had Keith Benson on here not long ago, and I understand that he has the TSOP, the Sound of Philadelphia, MFSB Orchestra sound now. I know that you probably, knew Leon, which I know that you knew Leon Huff for a long time.
Yep.
And I remember, as a young man, you used to be in his house a lot. And I believe I heard it through the grapevine. And that record, I heard it through the grapevine, was recorded by Gladys Knight and the Pips on Soul Records, in case anybody didn't know that. But I know that you used to be over his house, and I know that you used to steal some time on his piano.
Yeah.
I mean, was that the beginning of your music inspiration or your thought that you would ever want to be into music? As a matter of fact, tell the viewers about some of those experiences as a kid being around a great songwriter like Leon Huff.
When I was a kid, I used to go over there and me and my cousins, would play around the house. And when they would go out, he would have his studio set up in the living room. So we had like a gated area. So each time, like he had people come over, like Teddy Pendergrass, Lou Rawls, they would come together and write. And I would sit at the gate and just watch him do these songs. Like For the Love of Money started there. If You Don't Know Me By Now, he would play them and they would practice and write inside this room. And I would just sit and watch. And then he would leave there with the song written and they would leave. And when he left, I would sneak in there and I would jump on the piano, start playing. That's how I learned how to play, watching him play. And that was pretty much my inspiration. And then when I heard when the records would come out, my mom would get the white labels, he would play them, and I would see that process when I was only like 6 or 7 years old. So when I saw that process, it went in my subconscious mind. And it just basically gave me that creative spirit. I call it impartation. I got the impartation of his creation inside of me that inspired me to produce and do records and then teach others underneath of me too. It inspired him the same way he did me. So after that, it was every day. It haunted me. Every day that creative spirit that transferred into me haunted me to make me go, this is something that I gotta use in my life to give to others. That creative inspiration as well. So it was like a snowball effect that basically caught me at my foundation. And I always believe the foundation is the most important to everybody's, education and creation with their spirit of creating music.
You know, my understanding is that you have developed some labels of your own. You know, now that you're saved and you're Christian man.
Yes, sir.
You know, because one of the labels, what was one of the labels that you had developed?
Christ Mike is the new label that we developed right now that basically geared towards gospel musicians and gospel artists.
You know, and my understanding too that you do a thing called pep talk,
Yeah.
which you inspire people
Exactly.
to live right, the new
Exactly.
generation to start doing the right things and motivating the new generation, which is a great thing, definitely a great thing. You know, now when you was at Philly International Records, like some of the artists that you worked with, like were, give us the name of some of the guys, you know, that you worked with.
We had No Question that we did executive production stuff and worked for them. The Whitehead Brothers, Boys the Men had came to us when they had first, wanted to get a deal, and me and my friend Tony D kind of passed them over to Hiram Hicks, who was, matter of fact, he was managing Belleville, DeVoe, and New Edition at the time. So they went over to them, we hooked them up with them, and next thing you know, Michael Bivins saw them and signed them. They sat for a couple years, but we ended up pretty much helping them connect that deal. The next thing you know, 2 years later, Boys the Men is Boys the Men. I mean, it's an incredible story, like something I never knew would happen. This is how the music business works, because you never know who's going to be what. You just gotta feel it in your spirit that something's going to happen with this group. Like you can feel it in the air. As soon as you look at an artist, you look in their eyes, they had a fire that makes you know that they got something special that you just want to bring out. You know what I mean? And it comes out through the grace of God every time, because I call it divine appointment, really, and I call it spiritual inspiration that comes from that spirit of desire, that spirit of like, I got to get these creative juice out of me so that the world can see that I got something to give to the next generation and to people, to let them know that, look, you can make your dreams come true too, if you really, really, really believe in your creative spirit.
Well, you know, I guess that's where they say birds of a feather flock together, because I know Leon Huff, Kenny Gamble, and Tom Bell, you know, he became part of that group, even though still no duo like the Gamble and Huff group.
Yeah.
But when I come back, I want to ask you about that trio, you know, that Mighty Three Music Corporation.
Okay.
We're going to take one break for 1 minute, and we'll be right back with Soul Records Presents After the Show with my guest, Carl Pep Brown.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facials, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Welcome back again to Soul Records Presents After the Show. Today I got somebody really special. In case you weren't here in the beginning, you should have been here. My main man, Carl Pep Brown. Carl, welcome back again. Before we took the break, we were talking about the Gamble Health writing team, which is it's natural history. Mm-hmm. There's no duo in the face of this planet that's gonna ever put out more hit songs than those two. Mm-hmm. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? It ain't happened in the past, not gonna happen in the future. Can't even imagine it. Now, Tom Bell also became part of that crew, which developed the Mighty Three Music Corporation. Mm-hmm. And history, is history. Mm-hmm. And I always wondered, because I knew that Leon Huff had written for Patty and the Emblems, and that was like in '64, maybe, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I guess he did a lot of other individual songs, but how did him and Kenny Gamble first get together to create this duo?
It happened in the building that they owned that actually burned down, which is, everybody knows about, what was tragic. It was called Cameo Parkway. And Gamble happened to have an interview, and he tells everybody the story. He happened to have an interview with an executive up there, and they happened to meet at the same time in the same building that they own in the elevator. And as you know, how Mr. Gamble is a very cordial man, very approachable, and shook his hand in the elevator, said, "Hi, I'm Kenny Gamble," and he said, "I'm Leon Huff," and he's like, "What do you do?" He said, "I write." He said, "I play." And he was like, "Look, why don't we get together sometime and write some songs?" So they ended up making a date where they, ended up on Mr. Huff's house, and next thing you know, they writing songs together in the basement, coming up with hit songs there's a whole list of songs, but they wrote some nice songs that ended up being top selling songs. But they got together to the same building that they ended up owning and writing all those hits with Teddy Pendergrass, the OJs, the Spinners, all that stuff that we hear now, all those hits we hear that came out of that same building where they met in the elevator.
So that building, evidently was 309 Broad Street, where they had the sound of Philadelphia. Yeah, I've been in there a few times. Yeah. And so that's where they met. Yeah, I remember the elevator there too. Yeah. So now Tom Bell, how did he wind up on board with them?
Well, Tom Bell was also a producer and a writer that Gamble had a good relationship with. That basically when he was doing his song, his production, they came together by word of mouth, kind of. And then he met with Mr. Bell, and Mr. Huff liked what he was doing, and he said, "Well, why don't we come together and make it Gamble, Huff, and Bell?" Next thing you know, it was Gamble, Huff, and Bell, the Spinners, and Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. He brought them, and next thing you know, boom, he added on to the Gamble and Huff production team.
Now, I know Gamble, I believe, Bell might have had a thing called Bell Records, and Gamble had a thing which was Gamble Records. So then, I guess when they all got together, they created the Philadelphia International Records, the sound of Philly. But my understanding is Kenny Gamble used to have a group before, because Loretta, that owned Loretta's Hi-Hat in New Jersey, which was very tight and very close to Kenny Gamble, he used to perform down there. I don't know if the viewers remember that group that he had, which was
Kenny Gamble and the Romeos.
Kenny Gamble and the Romeos. You know, I don't know if they ever had any hit records out, you know, themselves. I guess they probably didn't. But
Well, that was part of the development,
He-
pretty much.
Yeah, he didn't have no hit record out, but he made a lot of hits for everybody else.
Sure did.
Matter of fact, I believe Kenny Jeremiah, who I know pretty well, he had a group called the Soul Survivors.
Yep.
And my understanding is that Leon Huff and Kenny Gamble's first hit record might have been for them. You know, we call them the Blue Eyed Soul Brothers.
Yeah, that's it.
And Kenny Gamble and Leon wrote the song for them. Matter of fact, Kenny Jeremiah said when he was in, I think, Newark during the time of the riots, and they were going to perform there, the Jackie Wilson from Motown was the main event, you know, and he was performing there as a top act. And because of the riots, he said that Jackie Wilson came and told them, said, look, I'm going on now. You guys going to have to go on afterward. You're going to be the main event because I'm leaving. So anyway, he said all the people thought they were African American or black.
Right.
And then when they got up to perform, they saw they were white guys and they sound so good, you know, the crowd just went crazy. Matter of fact, I think Newark stopped the riot that day as a result of them performing one of the sound of Philadelphia International Records, Expressway to My Heart. You know, I don't know, did you ever know how Leon and them wrote that song or where they got the you know, I mean, you know, I heard rumors, you know, I mean, you know, Expressway to My Heart, your heart's just too crowded, you know, he's writing maybe for Jan or something, I don't know. You know, because everybody say different things about, you know, how people wrote the songs.
Right.
You know, I mean, like the hit song, I Never Find Another Love Like Mine for Lou Rawls. But being with the Gamble and Huff team, name some of the writers that you met that actually wrote with them, because them guys had a lot of great writers, you know, because I had Mac Dad Records for a while in the 80s, and Douglas City Brown, you know, I think he wrote with them, you know, because Kenny Gamble and Huff gave him a writer's contract, Victor Karstoff, and quite a few other guys, Bruce Halls, you know, and some of the guys, but, you know, my understanding is you worked with some of them, like Bunny and them.
Bunny Sigler, yeah, I did a few demos with Bunny Sigler on some projects, and with the Dells, we sat down with me, if anybody knows Rico Don, and T. Barham did a song called Rappers Got the Corner, which was a smash. It was, you know, was intended to be on the album, but ended up not making the album because it basically didn't fit into the demographic of what they were doing at the time. But the record was hot. It was. I mean, it was kind of bringing the rappers and the doo-wop corner thing together. And it was a smash. But sometimes you can do songs for a project and they just don't make it. You know what I mean? But the great part about it is we had the experience to even work with these cats, to even get in the studio with them. So that energy is something that I'll never forget. You know what I mean? It's something that's captured in my heart forever. Just the experience of being in the studio, getting that energy, knowing that you put the right guys in the studio, you're going to get something great every time.
You know, when you mentioned the Dells, that's historical, because I forget, there was a movie about the Dells. You know, I forgot what they called it. Even though they didn't call it the Dells, you know.
Yeah, it was. I remember.
You know, but I remember they were one of the first groups that I went to the Spectrum in Philadelphia to see, was the Dells and James Brown. And you know, the Spectrum had great performances at that particular time when Philadelphia National Records just started putting out hits around 70, 71. So, but anyway, let me take one more break. And we come back, we're going to finish talking about the sound of Philadelphia with my man Carl Pep Brown. And, you know, we'll be right back. Don't miss it. Don't go nowhere, neither.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
Saving your business money is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Tanker Consulting Services, a payment solutions expert, will show you how with a free, detailed, written analysis illustrating your cost savings. We usually uncover savings between 10 and 25%, and sometimes more. We can help your business succeed by providing reliable and secure merchant payment solutions such as merchant services programs, point-of-sale systems, and ATM machines. TCS, one of the leaders in regional credit card processing consulting, offers electronic payments to merchants locally and nationwide through our preferred vendor programs. We work to keep business costs down with a comprehensive suite of quality products, services, and customized credit card processing programs exclusively tailored for your company. TCS is convenient, reliable, and innovative, with customer service available 24/7, 365 days a year. Our in-depth industry knowledge, partnership strategy, and innovative processing solutions allow for a specialized approach to providing merchant bank processing with 100% full fee disclosure. TCS is one-stop shopping for all your merchant services solutions. Our clients save money 100% of the time. Trust Tanker Consulting Services, the knowledgeable, professional, and friendly provider of secure payment services. We set the standard by which others are measured. Call now for a free written analysis. 609
Welcome back to Soul Records.
0201.
Welcome back to Soul Records presents After the Show. Today I have somebody very special on here with me, Carl Pep Brown. Carl, it's been such a pleasure having you here.
It's a pleasure.
And before we took this break, we were talking about like the Dells that you had worked with, and I was trying to remember the Dells, the series or the movie that was about the Dells, which was called The Five Heartbeats, which was actually the Dells story. But then I was also asking about some of the great writers that you worked with the Gamble and Huff team of Philadelphia International Records, had the Mighty Three Music Corporation. And some of the guys that you had actually worked with at that time were like, who else was on that writing team?
Buddy Sigler, Bruce Halls, Charlie Boy Simmons, just to name a few. And let me see. T. Barham, Robert Barham, who they had a group called New Life that was signed to Philly International Records that I did management for back then, and that was my first major situation at Philly International as far as helping develop an album, which basically we didn't really get to finish the album, but it was a great experience again for me because we did phenomenal work with this project. But the writing team was awesome. Everybody that I work with in the executive offices and the publishing department, awesome. Just basically sitting with Gamble and Huff and being in the studio with them and just listening to them, their stories and what they experience and what they see. Just listening under that mentorship was something that basically most people dream of getting that kind of experience. So me getting that kind of experience carried me on to where I am right now with what I'm doing for the future with my HDE Studios, my nephews, Armies of Kings, Leak Escobar, and Mere Mercy. What they're doing right now is phenomenal, and the whole movement there at HDE is just phenomenal. Plus, what I'm doing with Christ Mike, which is the gospel side of things, and many more artists that we're looking for right now. We're just looking to kind of like snowball this thing the same way Gamble and Huff did it. The same kind of system they did was they found artists that they believed in and the spirit connected, and they put the work behind it to push it, which is easier now, I think, to push it, which is we're doing what we're doing right now, which will make it pretty much become great like they did it. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of thing.
I know you're doing some things with Leon Huff Jr., which is his son.
Right.
And I remember Leon himself writing for so many people, because a lot of people don't know either him or Kenny Gamble did some things for Phil Spector, who also brought the Beatles and a lot of other people here. It's just a astronomical amount of people that them guys actually wrote for, and they did music for. And if I ain't mistaken. Well, I know I'm not mistaken. But when Michael Jackson left Motown, you know, he came to Philly International, and Columbia Records had Gamble and Huff produce him and write his music too.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, by you coming from that circle, I mean, I know that you really well qualified to do a lot of things. You know what I mean? You know, I'm sure that somewhere along the line, some of my staff may have sold records. You know, because everybody got sold. If they're good, if they do good music, got sold. You know, Gamble and Huff had a lot of soul, so you got a lot of soul.
Oh yeah.
You know, Barry Gordy and Motown had a lot of soul.
Yeah, because when they bought, when Michael Jackson came in the studio, and I got a chance to like sit and meet Michael Jackson and see that whole, you know, situation. That's something I'll never forget. You know, because Mike was pretty much like he was different at the time. He had the afro, he had the nose. He was, you know, he loved chicken. He was like just a fun guy. And you know, I remember seeing Mike from a kid growing up. It was like Michael Jackson, but to be able to see him, touch his hand, shake his hand, and to get that impartation was another part of my inspiration too with music. To meet Michael Jackson was probably one of the greatest experiences of my life through Philly International Records, and that's another thing that carries me through this thing too, because you know these guys are normal human beings who have a passion for music that loved it so much that they actually expressed it to the world. The world got a chance to see something great that was in them, and this is the same thing that happens even today. And that makes me look at younger artists, and I see Michael Jackson's in them too. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the same way. He wanted to express his music, and he really like dug down deep to express it. He went through some hard times or whatever, but it turned into great times, and everybody still plays his music to this day. And I'm in Vegas, and I go to those Michael Jackson shows that he does, and I get chills because I still feel that spirit when I hear his music, because I got a chance to shake his hand, touch him, be around him, and experience something that most people can't experience. But I just want to help everybody understand that everyone has a Michael Jackson in them.
Yeah, it's something, because I had John Hall, the boss man Hall, on here. And, you know, he had Broadway Eddie, who I know that you know, who's from Camden. And I think the Bee Gees may have been one of his groups too, but he had worked with Thriller Records, which Michael Jackson had developed, and he had John Hall recorded on there, I believe, you know, because he was with Philly Cream Records at the time, which I think might have been Philly Cream Group, which was with WMOT, I believe, you know. But, you know, in the future, you know, some of the artists that you'll be working with that you just mentioned, and you know, which I'm sure, you know, having you as a mentor, having you as a producer and executive producer, you know, they won't lose. That's for sure. Because you guys did the hit record for the Philadelphia Eagles when they was having good luck.
Yeah, when they was in the Super Bowl, we happened to do a song. Me and my boys, Tony D, bless his soul, his brother's Larry Davis, he was in Instant Funk. You know, got my mind made up. You can get it. He did that when he did a lot of hits. Are y'all ready for this? That song, which is a smash. Everybody used to play it all the football games. You know, Tony D, rest his soul, he was one of the major parts, and he did the executive production with me with that. Victor Newman, JR, his name Jay Reezy, we call him. He's still doing it right now. If everybody looks at him on YouTube, or if you see him, you'll see him on Facebook sometimes. Great R&B writer, producer. Right now, he's working on a record that's going to be coming out eventually soon too. He's still doing his thing, and of course, I'm still, you know, pushing my thing as well. You know, so I'm excited about the future because my nephew's phenomenal talent. I mean, from engineering, producing, writing, you know, rapping, you know, even encouraging other artists around them. They are like the mega future in what we're doing right now, because they're leading off in HDE Studios with Lil Leon Huff Jr. and his movement with his artists. It's a slew of music coming out of that we want to release, that everybody's going to get a chance to hear real soon. So look forward to that, everybody, because there's going to be some hot stuff coming out of Philly / Camden too, with the Chase Street project as well. So as all this is unfolding right now, it's in development. I'm giving y'all a heads up right now, and look out for it. It's going to be something that we have never seen come out of South Jersey and Philadelphia. So look out for it.
But since you put it like that, you know, everybody make sure you look out for it. And somewhere along the line, everyone will be back here one of these times soon.
Yep.
Back to Soul Records Presents After the Show. Today, you guys who didn't miss this show, you're lucky. Call Pep Brown.
It's Robert Johnson. I appreciate you having us
You
here,
know,
having me here. It's
so,
been fun.
Yeah,
I
it's been a
enjoyed
pleasure
it.
to
And
have you.
everybody check out Pep Talks on YouTube and also on Facebook. Check it out. Get the encouraging messages that I'm giving you guys to inspire you all that you can do anything you want to do in your life. You just got to put your mind to it. Thoughts become things. If you're great, you have great thoughts, you become a great individual in everything that you do. God bless you.
You heard that. Hey, Soul Records signing off. God bless you all.